Silence that we're about to observe. It is meaningful to me as the president of the hospital. It is meaningful to our staff of all races, creeds, and colors. And it's meaningful to the people of New York. I just want to say a couple of things before we begin our observance. Americans, and has disproportionately affected our communities of color. And we're still reeling from the effects of that pandemic, and we will be reeling from the effects of that pandemic for months and frankly years to come. And in addition to the pandemic, we've now had sort of a bubbling over of frustration and anger and resentment and a sense of hopelessness associated with the fact that in the United States, one has to worry if one's skin color happens to be black. One has to worry for one's life. You know, I'm married to a black woman, and I have 2 adopted black children. And my daughter, who lives in London, has more or less said to us that living in London, she feels a relief, a burden lifted, because there she's not viewed essentially and continuously through the lens of the color of her skin. And my son is like a lot of black males. He's had his encounters with law enforcement. He's been pulled over because he was with a white girl in a car. And he has to be very, very careful. And just like many parents of black children, you know, I've had the same kind of conversation that you've had about what to do. And it's really frustrating in the United States in 2020 that we have to have those conversations. We shouldn't have to have those conversations anymore. Just like in 2020 in the United States, it shouldn't be the case that a disease disproportionately affects people because of it, and you can tell how it disproportionately affects people by asking one question, and that is, what's the color of their skin? So we've got to move away from this in this country. And we got to do it fast. I don't know what the end of this is all going to be, right? I mean, we're now in day 8 of protests that are not only in the United States, but around the world for the conduct of our law enforcement vis-a-vis people of color. And if 99% of the people in law enforcement are all there for the right reasons, it's a fraction that are making it impossible for us to live as a society together. And we've got to change that. We have to change it. Now, I've learned a lot, you know, I'm 52, I'm going to be 52 years old. I've learned a lot. And, you know, when you're younger, you want to change the world, right? And, you know, I realized that sometimes it's hard to change the world. But what we can do, all of us, is change our worlds. Our patches of this earth. We can all do that. We can do that as people who work here at Mount Sinai Morningside. We can do that with our patients. We can do that with each other. We can do that with our families. We can do that in our communities. And if we commit to doing that, and others commit to doing that, when we each change our patch of the world, that's how we change it. That's how we change it. There's a sign over there that says enough is enough. Enough is enough. Right? It's time. So what I want to say to all of you here is that this show of solidarity is emotionally riveting, personally gratifying, and it shows the depth and heart that this institution embodies. On behalf of the administration here at Mount Sinai Morningside, and on behalf of all of the people who aren't people of color, to our colleagues who are people of color, I want to say this. We stand with you. We empathize with you. In the end, we can't know what it's like, but we can be emotionally intelligent, and we can, by being emotionally intelligent, we can stand in your shoes and stand behind you in support. This does have to be the end. This has to be enough. Right? What we saw in Minnesota was murder. Right? It was flat out murder. It needs to be acknowledged as such, prosecuted as such, and we need to do things in this country to ensure that that doesn't happen again. You know, our former president used to talk about our job is about perfecting this union. And that's the work we've got to do. When we leave here, we need to be about perfecting this union, creating a better nation, a nation that's committed to, in Martin Luther King's words, what it said on paper. All right? Because what it said on paper isn't good enough. It needs to be how we live each and every day. All right, with that, let's begin our moment of silence.